Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, back to boxing. Nah, man, wild news, man. Kubrat Pulev, the most unlikely person to block this Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua fight, says that he's not going to take any amount of step aside money to step aside so this unification fight with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury can happen. Now, this is a really big deal, man. If you guys don't know Kubrat Pulev's history, he didn't take the Anthony Joshua fight before because he wasn't ready, and now he feels like since the quarantine happened and Anthony Joshua took his first loss, that he has a really good chance of winning this fight, and that this is the time in his career to take the biggest fight of his career, which would be Anthony Joshua. And this says a lot about Kubrat Pulev and his determination, because a lot of people talk about fighting fighters when they're undefeated and saying that, or at least when they're at the pinnacle. A lot of people still believe Anthony Joshua is still at his pinnacle, and it doesn't mean much when you beat a fighter with multiple losses. It means a lot when you fight fighters who are undefeated or basically undefeated. Anthony Joshua only has one loss against Andy Ruiz, and Kubrat Pulev feels like if he doesn't fight Anthony Joshua now, he might not get this chance again, which will be true. No doubt when Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury fight, if it's a great fight, which is most likely going to be, they're going to want to run it back. And not only that, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder still got unfinished business in the third trilogy fight. So basically, Kubrat Pulev will be waiting a whole other year minimum to be fighting Anthony Joshua again, because he's most likely only going to fight one time this year, if not at all, right? Anthony Joshua has been talking about fighting in Saudi Arabia, and because of the whole quarantine thing, and for far as I'm concerned, Saudi Arabia hasn't been hit like that, so they can have a big fight over there and it'll sell a lot. Not only that, they have a lot of elite rich people over there in Saudi Arabia because of that oil money, and they can have a private fight, and people will pay top dollar over there because they got really nothing else to spend their money on. So that being said, man, Kubrat Pulev really puts a nail in his coffin in this whole Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua situation, because he's not going to step aside, right? And a lot of people talk about how unifications basically overrule mandatories, but Kubrat Pulev has been waiting for so long. I'm not sure if that's the case. Maybe Anthony Joshua might have to vacate one of the titles. We don't know. It's up to the organizations, really, in the end of the day, because they change rules and they make rules as they go. And as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen a Bulgarian heavyweight champion before, so they might give the benefit of the doubt to Kubrat Pulev and force Anthony Joshua to fight him before he does any big moves in trying to fight Tyson Fury, right? So this is a really big deal, man. I'm glad Kubrat Pulev stepped up, and he really has belief in himself, and understand this is a really big deal because Kubrat Pulev is promoted by the same promoter as Tyson Fury, right? Tyson Fury and Kubrat Pulev have the same promoter, which is Bob Arum, right? And Tyson Fury has another promotion in the UK with Queensberry Promotions with Frank Warren. But the fact of the matter is, Kubrat Pulev is still gonna get that. He still wants that fight, and it's against Bob Arum's best interest, actually, because he wants that fight right away with Kubrat Pulev. With Tyson Fury. I'm sorry. So, Kubrat Pulev is really rocking their boat with this whole challenging Anthony Joshua situation. We're gonna see how this whole thing unfolds, man. This could, man, no. This like I said earlier, this is in Bob Arum's worst interest, because if Kubrat Pulev happens to beat Anthony Joshua, I don't care how big Kubrat Pulev is, he's not bigger than Anthony Joshua, even if he wins, hypothetically, which, is highly unlikely. But if he does win, that would definitely, the Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua fight will be a unification fight in the UK, which has never happened before, for all the belts, right? That's unprecedented, right? That's just an historical a fight that would be big for the UK, especially, much less the world. So yeah, it's against Bob Arum's best interest to have Kubrat Pulev fight Anthony Joshua. But like I said earlier, we're gonna see how this whole thing unfolds. But let me know how you guys feel about Kubrat Pulev. He doesn't want to pull out, man. He says no about a step aside money. Can make me step aside. Let me know, guys, what about it, though? Who would have known? Kubrat Pulev, he got some big cojones, man. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace.